There is a comic book superhero whose merchandise have outdone any other character in existence in sales. One character that has surpassed even the mighty Superman. You read the title of the video, so yes. I'm talking about Spidey. I'm talking about Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Heck, I'd say even other Spider-Men have sold well who aren't Peter. All that said, it is no surprise he would be prevalent in many forms of media today. We have had many adaptations in games and film. However, in this video, I want to focus on animation. I grew up in the, this isn't a shocking revelation, I know, 90s. My first exposure to the web slinger was the animated series back then. A strange one looking back, with a very chiseled-faced, middle-aged looking Spider-Man. This show, though it plays a big part in my childhood, wasn't really that good. Hear me out. I don't care about the nostalgia right now. Sure, it was a huge influence on me, but I will admit that it had terrible pacing, and the animation just wasn't nearly up to par with the other cartoons present in that day. I mentioned this show first because it plays a big part later in the video. You see, to me, the best animated Spider-Man has always been Spectacular Spider-Man. Many may say that the art style isn't good, and that is what many said, including myself at first, but that was during a time when I thought that anything that wasn't pursuing an anime aesthetic was terrible. I was a weeb. Anyway, Spectacular had well-written scripts, very well-executed plot points in the overall arcs, and the best character growth for not only Spidey but his friends that I've ever seen. The highlight of the series that has always stuck with me is the relationship between Eddie Brock and Peter Parker. Their bond is something that is strongly shown, almost tangible. When the symbiote takes hold of Brock, you feel the transformation into Venom. It's heartbreaking. So, from this show on, the standard for me has been Spectacular Spider-Man. The next iteration was Ultimate. I was intrigued. I was excited. The show started off as a fun adventure with a young Spidey teaming up with younger versions of other Marvel heroes. It fell apart when it was decided to milk every aspect of the Marvel Universe and shove it into Spider-Man's world. It just didn't feel like a Spider-Man cartoon anymore. Of course, from it spawned other Marvel animated things. Really, Disney? An Incredible Hulk cartoon that plays out like The Office? Ugh. So why do I mention the good and bad of animated Spider-Man? I wanted to talk about how the newest one failed in so many ways. I understand that this new cartoon may not be for me, I'm not the demographic, but I say to you, I love cartoons. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is for preschoolers and younger. I enjoyed that show more than this one. Don't judge me. Look, the draw to Spider-Man is his ability to be relatable. Everyone should feel like they can be Spider-Man. More specifically, kids who watch or read any Spider-Man material should feel this way. That's why I mentioned the first series I saw as a kid. I didn't see him as relatable, but in that version, he was still a goal that was attainable. I could be that Peter Parker. In the new Marvel's Spider-Man? Come on, Disney, of course it's Marvel Spider... Anyway, in this new show, Peter Parker is anything but relatable. He isn't even an attainable goal. Now, sure, some kids may just watch for the action and stop there, but look at the themes of Spectacular Spider-Man. The strong messages of fighting to keep hold of the ones you love, that is present in the writing. In this new show, all we know from the get-go is that Peter is a boy genius. He's not a normal kid who still speaks like a normal kid. No, instead he talks about PSI and whatnot every other sentence.
Seems 200 PSI isn't enough to launch webbing properly. 250 PSI should do the trick. 300 PSI, don't let me down now!
Then, when he's talking to Harry Osborn, his best friend, someone he should feel comfortable with, he begins to use words that don't feel natural in a conversation. Like he's trying to sound smart. He sounds like a pompous know-it-all. Not a kid you'd want to hang out with, let alone a kid you could actually be. The story and motivations of the characters also seem very unclear. The majority of that flaw is the pacing. The pacing of this show harkens back to the 90s cartoon, in which everything in a single scene happens in the span of 3 seconds, even Peter's inner monologues. So I can't take it seriously when I am supposed to. Now, aside from the writing of the character, I have a complaint about the design. Peter Parker is indistinguishable from the background characters. There are moments where I thought Harry was Peter Parker. Heck, I wish Harry was Peter Parker. He has better dialogue and a design to fit the character. I know of artists who work on the show, and they do amazing work, but the final design for Peter just doesn't work for me. If I could list something positive about the new Spider-Man show, it'd be Harry Osborn. He seems like he has clear motivation, is likable, and above all else, is relatable. All in all, I'd say Spider-Man's character is absent from the new show. At least, what I've known Spider-Man to be. You can disagree with me, and that's okay. These were my thoughts and my opinions. If you'd like, let me know yours in the comments below. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified of any new videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Spectacular, spectacular.